we start the meeting, the Honorable Ranking Member of the committee wishes to make a short statement. After that, we will continue.
Chairman, let me thank you for the opportunity, and to our colleagues. The Appointments Committee is a committee of Parliament and operates like other committees of Parliament within our standing orders. We plays a critical role in the scrutiny and assessment of the President's nominee for office of Ministers of State, Deputy Ministers of State, and other bodies that require parliamentary approval. In the last few hours, the Appointments Committee collectively took some decisions, and let me state it emphatically, collectively took some decisions. The Appointment Committee is not the minority caucus, nor is it just the majority caucus. It's us all working together as a committee to assess the ministers. Yes, we examine knowledge of subject matter, we examine temperament when necessary, but certainly not whether a nominee is arrogant or not arrogant. That is not our business. We may look at your temperament and humility and the way with which you will relate to the Ghanaian people in the distribution of public goods and services. We also will look at your contribution to public service, your integrity, and matters of morality. My understanding, as many are speculating, the chairman will forward to a number of our colleagues legitimate concerns, lawful, that we have raised about them, and therefore when that is communicated, we will look at them. In respect of the Honorable Howard Kumsen, as many of you may recall, she was on this floor of Parliament when we asked her about the status of the shooting incident. She said it was still under investigation and she has not been charged. Therefore, we require further information in taking a decision on her if we're satisfied that the investigative process were conclusive, bearing that we have every right to raise a red flag on her. In respect of Dr. Owusu Afriye Akoto, there are many reasons, as I've said. Chairman will reach out to them. We are unhappy about the termination of a contract at the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, which has occasioned some loss and a major disincentive to foreign investors. Some Dutch businesses have expressed concern about it, and will require further information from him. There was some other matter in relation to another entity that we mentioned, so when he does get opportunity. In respect of the Honorable Kojo Opon Nkrumah, we are carefully reviewing the tape of his answers to our questions to appreciate the issues, but it had to do with oval microfinance and the official position of the Bank of Ghana on it. We require clarity from the Bank of Ghana as to whether he owes or not. There is a matter relating to a media house that is also being looked at. In respect of the Honorable Kweku Ajima Menu, we demand that somebody must be responsible for the procurement of the Frontiers Healthcare Services Limited, which is charging Ghanaians $150 at the port. We seem not to be getting satisfactory answers as to how the procurement process was done and completed. We've had some evidence of some information of renting of offices in it. He has to respond to it, including the lab polyclinic that I may be visiting shortly to appreciate the state of work at the lab polyclinic. In respect of Honorable Osei Owusu, she gave some assurances regarding the contract with Kelvin GVG. We are looking at it in terms of the monthly issue, but as I've said, her clarification on some matters relative to the closure of some radio FM stations. So when they appear before our committee, we'll look at it. Kwesi Amwakwata is just to respond to the issue of a PPP contract which was signed for the Tema Motorway expansion, which figures increased from 480 $80 million to 570 under PPP. There's no cabinet or parliamentary approval, and a PPP law has been signed. We are elucidating further information with him on this to get clarity from him on the status of it. I don't think that people should conclude that there is some wrongdoing concluded by the Appointments Committee or untoward issue. Honorable Godfred Dami will also respond to some matters relative to his role at the PPA. So let it not be said anywhere that the Appointments Committee, particularly led by the minority, are assessing people based on whether they are arrogant or not. We are simply, in respect of some persons, demanding better particulars in respect of some roles they played in their public life to appreciate it. So Chairman will be inviting the nominees to meet the committee, but essentially not in camera. We'll deal with them at our committee level. But Chairman, let me conclude by saying that in the decisions that we take, we are guided by Article 94 of the Constitution, minimum requirement to be minister and minimum requirement to be MP, and whether you have any proven criminal record or whether there is a commission of inquiry that has indicted you, which findings have not been set aside. Those will be the primary parameters of our decision. So subject to satisfactory responses of this, we will collectively take those decisions. I thank you, Chair, for your indulgence.
Honorable colleagues, yesterday at the meeting here, none of these matters were discussed. It is this morning that these matters were forwarded to me by the Chief Whip, Deputy Ranking Member. Some of them, I look at them myself and I compare with the answers that we're giving. They are not matching the issues that are alleged to have been raised. So I encourage you to stay away from making public pronouncements on things which undermine the integrity of this committee. If you go out to say a person said A, B, C, D, E, for which reason we are doing Y, X, Y, Z, but the video shows clearly that he did not say the things you allege he said, and you purport to speak on behalf of a committee which has not asked you to. You purport to be a decision of a committee which has not taken any such decision. I think it was for good reason that the leadership decided that these are the matters, we discussed them, we agreed, we'll move on. Those matters are matters you said you wanted further clarification. But before the matters reached me, they're already being discussed in the media. I think it is most unbecoming of us, any one of us who participated in this, who encouraged this discussion. Indeed, by our standing orders, one of the acts which can bring you to the Privileges Committee is discussing matters at a committee which is intended for the House but has not reached the House. Sometimes people say I'm too strict, but truly, that's my training. These are the rules, we go by it. So please, let us work as a team, as a committee. We can always agree to disagree. And that's why it is a democracy. But we should not take out of here matters which have not been decided by the committee and discussed as if they are committee. This committee has no power to reject anybody. Let that be clear. This committee has no power to reject anybody. Our duty is to make recommendations to the House. The House may accept or refuse our recommendations. There's nothing going on here which is final. If we understand that, that will influence our discussion. If I have a problem with anybody, yes. But it has never been the case that why we voted this way or left way reasons have been given. Why anybody voted for me and not any of my opponents, nobody asked them. What we do is vote, take a decision. So we should please stop pretending that some authority is vested in us as a committee or members, individual members, to make conclusions on the fate of any members. Please, let's work as a team, as a committee. Let us present our report. Let's discuss whatever we have at the plenary. Make all the comments we want to make at the plenary. But before then, please, let's avoid reading into matters, providing reasons which committee members are not aware. If you picked any of our reports, you won't find any of those things in them, but they are presented as things that have happened in the committee. I encourage members to move away from that and let us work as a team. Thank you very much. Yeah.